No gong. But
Oh, come on. We're so close. Wait, when do we get a gong again? I can't remember. When?
2400 Ethereum. 2400.
Yeah, that makes sense. 2400. These measly. What are we at? 20.
I mean, it'd be like a 20% bump. It'd be like a 17% bump.
That could happen in a minute.
Well, I don't think it'll happen in a minute, but the point is, ain't it funny, right? It's just like, ain't it funny? All this stuff goes on. Everybody panics. Oh, here we go again. Pompliano and all these guys coming out telling us what's going to happen. Like, this guy is the king of, when the market's up, he's here. When the market goes down, he becomes the biggest naysayer. He then claims he's some kind of fucking guru. He's never been a guru. His fund has always been junk. Everything this guy touches is junk. And he went from being like a Bitcoin maxi to now he's kind of, I don't even know what his thing is now. He's like, oh, I'm an economist. You were never an economist. Economists aren't economists. Like, all these people, there's a lot of gurus, a lot of fucking gurus with no money. Anthony Pompliano's money is not because he made money investing. Anthony's money is because he got a bunch of, he's in the right circles. He snookered a bunch of idiots into giving him money for his fund, which I don't even know what his fund does now. He just starts a new fund every time the economy, like if people's favorite color was yellow, it's after some survey, he'll start the yellow fund. Like if people are like, oh, people wear bell bottoms, I've got the bell bottom crypto fund. What are you even talking about? So he's kind of like Justin Sun. You know how Justin Sun will copy and paste anything and just make a Tron version of it?
Yeah.
I'm sure didn't they make a Tron betting market too, like Polymarket or something? I'm sure they have. Yeah. I'm sure. So anyway, Pompliano is that guy. I was reading, I don't know why that guy's in my mind so much, but I was reading one of his dumbass articles just this morning, right before Bitcoin and Ethereum went straight up, where he was telling everyone Bitcoin's gonna go straight down. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah. They're not like, there's a chance that this might happen. There could be some loose correlations. Everything with him is absolute. Okay, so war in Iran means inflation because oil go up. Oil go up ain't inflation, fucking dummy. That's not what inflation isn't. That's a price shock. And if you don't know the difference between a price shock this weekend and inflation, which is the always and everywhere pervasive, continual grinding increase in the price of consumer goods because of an inflow of extra currency units, that's fucking inflation. Inflation isn't we go to war, oil goes up. That's a near-term price shock. So you don't know the difference of those two things. You are unfit. You're probably unfit to be an adult, but you're definitely unfit to manage money. Anyway, that's my rant. I have
He's always been one of the guys, and all these guys do this. They say two things in the same sentence, so they can go back and point to the thing that was right. The market's going to go up to tomorrow. The market's going to go down tomorrow. Hey, remember when I said the market was going to go down tomorrow? See, look, it went down.
No, but I told you. But his
thing,
Brandon, is it's even less intuitive. It's these absolute statements and all these things. Look, all news, all issues, all things, all events it's all context influencing other arguments that have some degree of truth to them, right? Like, yes, we're kind of at war. It's not a full war. I'm not wearing a helmet waiting for the bombs to come. This is a conflict somewhere far away where a bunch of people with a lot of technology are vaporizing a bunch of farmers, and they mostly deserve it. So there's that. Now, that war, is it going to influence Fed policy? Well, his theory is, oh yes, it'll make the Fed delay rate cuts. So think about the assumptions. One, that rate cuts matter, which they don't, because they don't affect real money supply at all, and you don't have to go anywhere further than the Federal Reserve's website for that. That rate is not cash creation. The overnight lending rate for 24 prime broker dealers does not affect your life one fucking bit at all. None of that rate doesn't apply to us anyway. And even if it did, even the bond market doesn't follow the lending rate. The lending rate floats in a range of transactions that happen every day. So the rate isn't even the rate, right? So But let's assume the Fed did print money, which they don't, because QE ain't money printing either. So take all that off the table. So his assumption is because oil prices will go up, which they have, near-term price shock, which he says is inflation. That's not what it is. So because guess what? If this conflict was settled by the end of next week, oil prices would go back down because the stressor isn't there. The big panic button isn't there. We'll close the Straits of Hormuz isn't there, right? So, okay. But if, just run his logical mind. And the problem is people that don't know any better latch onto that stuff. And then they start using that as their heuristics for decision making, all this bad logic. And we were having lunch with someone yesterday. Here's what, and it was, this guy was really nice, but he's a tech guy. And he's like, a little problem in math when you're younger can become a bigger problem later. And my theory was like, yeah, it becomes a logic problem. Like, you want to be good at math and you want to make sure all the gaps are filled in, right? Because if not, you have logic gaps. Those logic gaps, they get bigger and bigger because you start to base your normal decision making on what you think is a foundation that is logical, and it is not. It's missing pieces. And that's how people can make just catastrophically bad decisions. And they don't know why. They're like, I don't understand why I'm always wrong at investing. Because you're on a bunch of fucking flawed logic. You got to fix the logic holes. So, okay, war is near-term price shock. War isn't forever. If this war was a 4-year-long incident, right? Then you could make an argument. You could say, okay,
right,
for the next 4 years, this price shock is going to permeate out in all oil distributors, and it's going to create a permanent price hike. That could be in one tiny part of the CPI bucket, the way we measure inflation, in one tiny piece. Yes, that is a price increase over time, if it's a long period of time. Okay, but when you make these assumptions and they just bleed over into everything, war, Fed not gonna cut rates cause inflation. Therefore, oh, by the way, and since the Fed's not cutting rates, no more free money to flow into Bitcoin. That's what his argument is. Therefore,
because that's the only source.
Yeah. Therefore, Bitcoin go down cause war. So war up, Fed down, Bitcoin down cause money down. But gold go up. That doesn't okay, well,
oh, I know. Yeah.
But so there's that money, but there's no. It's so stupid. But people they latch onto this shit and they go in the wrong direction, and they go in the wrong direction fast.
Yeah. Speaking of, I want to just I have a picture that shows that exact thing. It's hilarious. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it ready here. You don't need volume for this. This is funny because this shows that exact same thing. So see if you can see what's happening in this picture here. So everybody's eating at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Right. They're just chilling. Okay. I am going to let's see, push play here. So these are right here. This girl right here running. She's like a little CrossFitter. They're just running on the sidewalk, running.
She's jogging.
She's just jogging. Then there's another couple CrossFitters. They're doing like the little CrossFit workout here.
Let me guess. Okay. We're gonna see some mass
Somebody sees them running. Somebody sees them running. She turns around. They look. The whole restaurant empties out because they think something's happening. This is case in point. What's happening with the market?
Cooking is gone.
Everybody's gone for no reason. And you know what?
Oh, this is exactly what happens in the car. Though he's like, I'm holding my beer. Fuck you guys.
He's like, wait, what's going on, dude? And then this guy's like, I guess I'm gonna leave too. Since everybody else left. This is the markets right now. This is exactly what you're saying. This is like everybody just are a bunch of sheep. They're not thinking for themselves. They can't logically reason what's happening with the war, with everything else.
They can't. Bad math.
They're just following. They can't game theory for themselves what's going on. They can't be like, well, nothing's really wrong with Bitcoin. Nothing's really wrong. Let's just stay in it. It's easier.
Just wait.
Why are we gonna panic out just because everybody else is panicking out for no reason?
Just wait.
we can talk a little bit about what happened this last week. You guys had a busy week while I was gone. Holy flip me. Jeez, man. I say a busy week, but you look at the price and with the amount of stuff, the amount of catastrophic things that hit the market last week, I quote unquote catastrophic, because in relation to the last 5 months, actually some of these events should have been catastrophic, but they weren't. The price hasn't really moved in a week. What is it? A week? Dude, what? When
I mean, we're right where we were Thursday before the Friday dump, and then the Saturday dump, and then the Saturday up.
It's like all like
the Sunday up, last night up, this morning up, like
so inconsequential, dude. Like we're talking, dude, since February 6th, we're the exact same price. I mean, that's a month. A month we're the same price, man.
It's a whole bunch of ain't done nothing.
Ain't done nothing bull crap, right? So anyway, we could talk about that in a second. But hey, you know what? Actually, let's go behind the wall. We're gonna talk about this action. Oh, but one more thing before we go to the hall, dude. Uber drivers, we don't get a lot of Uber drivers, you know, but when we go on trips and stuff, we get some Uber drivers, dude. They're crazy, man. I don't know how you deal with these Uber drivers. They're interesting characters.
Yeah.
This one we were driving to the airport, dude, and he's like, couldn't speak very well, couldn't speak English. He's like, hey, why haven't you learned Spanish? I'm like, what do you mean why haven't I learned Spanish? Like, we're in, you know, you can have your own opinions, whatever. Yeah, when I went and I lived in Romania, guess what? I learned Romanian. And I'm like, if I go live in Mexico, I'm going to learn Spanish, okay?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. He's like, why don't you know Spanish right now? I'm like, well, I don't, you know, I mean, I can.
Wait, where were you? Where were you?
In Florida. We're in Florida. Oh, yeah, so that helps with context, right? We're in Florida. So, and I'm like, I don't, you know, we're in the, that's the big problem with a lot of what everybody's doing. They want to bring their value, their system, their language, everything to America when it's like, I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. But this guy was kind of crazy. The first thing we do when he gets in the car, he's like, hey, this is my family. And he shows us, he has a tablet this big on his front dash of his family. And my wife took a picture of it. I'm going to show you, this is his family, right?
Like, really?
Yeah.
This is his. Yeah, he's driving Uber, but his family are all supermodels. Isn't that the guy from the '70s show?
I don't. It looks like so. This is his wife that he cut himself out of the picture for some reason. Because I know when I post a picture of me and my wife, I cut myself out.
Because he doesn't want to be He doesn't want to be grandstanding. He doesn't want.
I guess that's
he doesn't want to house everyone. He wants to be cool.
And then this is his son. He's on the red carpet because he's a famous singer or whatever it is. This is like his red carpet photo.
Yeah.
And this is his daughter. She's like a model, scantily dressed. And his other daughters.
You need to send a message. I saw her at Boulevard Steak last week, and she didn't look like anybody's daughter.
It's just I thought these Uber drivers, this guy was like one of those guys too. For some reason he decided going 40 and 80 was the right way to do things and decided his blinker was not necessary. And I'm just like sitting there like, oh my gosh.
Chris, you realize the problem is if it goes to 2,700, you're out. That's
true. I never do that. Chris said the same thing at 2,100 to 2,300 or 2,300 to 2,400. You said this before, right, Chris?
I want it to work for everybody. I want everybody here to make money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I've been poor and I've been not poor. And not poor is way better.
I've heard that.
I've been around in some markets where I watch things go. In crypto, I played it right. But I'll tell you where I didn't play it right. I was early in Tesla I'm talking about within weeks of the IPO when Tesla was trading at $35. And I got greedy on options. I had Tesla and I was selling calls.
Oh man.
I just got greedy because I was like, okay, Tesla could go to a couple $100. And every week it would go 2-3%. So I would be just out of the money, and then it went, and I could never catch it again. Well, and obviously it ain't $35 anymore, is it?
Was that pre-splits too? I'm
telling you, this was within weeks of the IPO. Same thing when Facebook IPO'd. I got in on the Facebook IPO. I had some money back then. I was in the crypto space. It was weird. I had money and I got poor and I had money again. But one of the reasons I didn't get poor, but I got poorer. And same thing, Facebook, I was trading, selling calls. I had a lot of Facebook. I had, I don't know, 25, 50,000 shares. Because I was in the gold business then. That's all we did is we like traded gold and silver, GLD, SLV, USLV, UGLD, and we try to play, new issues, right? Like IPOs. And I was not paying attention. I sold some calls on a week where it was an earnings week, and you never do that. And it was an earnings week, and I was driving to Vegas to visit my parents. And by the time I got there and just turned my phone on, I was already so far out, and it did like a 2x. And I was like, God damn it.
Gosh,
that's it. And I was in my mind, I'm like, I can't get back in now. I'm like, I'll just wait for it to come back down. It never came back down. He's like, I can't stand waiting. No, I know that. And and we're not picking on you, but the thing is, you have to, you know what? You don't have to do anything. I think you should endeavor to figure out how willing you are to take the pain. If there's a proportionate relationship between, I think it's inversely proportionate. Your acceptance of pain and your being poor are inversely proportionate, meaning your willingness to endure the grit is proportionate to your profit on the other end of it. You got to grind through it. Like some weeks I can't sell options, and I have a lot, dude. Like I have enough in my options account where I can have a $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 week of profits, premiums.
Yeah.
But for many weeks of the last 5 months, I have done nothing.
Because
you get used to that $200K a week, and then you go 5 months without it. You feel poor.
Yeah, jeez. Well, but it's dude, because right now Ethereum at 6%. We can talk about this more later behind the screen. Yeah. But Ethereum up 6% today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Ethereum could make a 20% move in a matter of days, and you would be be completely out of it. Because in 5 days, I could move 20% easily,
Yeah.
And then you're behind. And then
we're not telling anybody, listen, we're not telling anybody to change what you're doing. Just make sure that what you're doing is looking at the greater story. Look about 12 to 18 months out. Let's do a little quiz. 105 people. Does anybody think the price of Ethereum in the next 12 months won't get back to 5,000? You think, will it or will it not touch the highs on October 6th? You might not think it will. It's kind of the same question, basically the same question is, will Bitcoin reach 126,000 in the next 12 months? I personally think it will, right? But I don't think it will in the next 3 months. I think it could over the summer. Last summer was pretty dang good. Last fall till October 7th, pretty dang good. So yeah, clarity. So when you think that, okay, Ethereum, okay, I can be in and out. I can make 2 or 3 of those trades, but they won't make up for one run. Well, if you have your doubts, then do what you're doing. Then what you're doing is fine. But probably what I would do is I would then take that profit that you're generating from your little trades. And I don't mean little to be, I'm not trying to marginalize it. I'm just saying, you're using a small portion of your Ethereum. I would take the profits from those trades, push them into ETH or something like that, and then get leverage on the leverage, meaning get your ETH, sell calls against the ETH, way out of the money, grab a couple of cents a week so that your profit from your little trading is creating a long-term investment in ETH that's generating a little bit of extra income. That's what I do. I sell when we're down like this, I sell options that give me, I sold some this morning for 7 cents. Okay, I sold 1 hour too early, obviously, because now they're 20 cents, which is a dick punch to be sure. But no one got poor taking a profit. But I'm still selling above my average price. So if I got called out, I won't lose sleep over it. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm thinking of that greater, the greater story that in the next 12 months, maybe ETH A is back to 30, 35 bucks. And my, X number of dollars account is a 3X or a 4X of the current. Well, it'll be a 3X, right? 2.5. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where my head's at. So make sure you're thinking about your level of patience and your willingness to accept pain in the market, because that will tell you kind of in a almost direct way. It's directly correlated. If you can withstand these drawdowns, then you get the big wins on the way up. You just find ways to monetize around it, like selling puts and things like that kind of stuff. All right, that's my spiel.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think obviously, we can math this out and say, Bitcoin, you have your doubts, Chris. You have your doubts that it'll hit 125,000 or whatever in the next 12 months, maybe. But I don't know why anybody thinks that, well, besides, I guess maybe the stock market going down, whatever else, but Bitcoin still, the only reason it's going down is because I think, people are charting and doing technical, and people are sheep. People are following the other people that are saying it's going down.
It's a little bit the AI trade. Okay. It's a little bit the gold and silver meme coin trade. It's a little bit that, private credit is getting nuked. And I think a lot of people are a little bit tense with extra money. They're like, especially people that are invested in private credit and they can't get their money out. Well, they're not going to invest in anything. Yeah. And a lot of those people, listen, if you invest in private credit, you're a fucking idiot. So those are the kind of people that would be in and out of crypto all the time. Not that it's dummies in crypto, but people that are radical in their investing, they like Bitcoin and stuff. So we lost the radical money, the insurgent money. Those people are all like, oh shit. And what happens if you're in private credit and you have money in 6 funds and one of them says we're no longer giving redemptions? What are you going to do in your other 5 funds? You're going to sell them and get the fuck out, because you're like, shit, they're next. So the people can, in those kind of smaller like spaces, people can create the bank run like on the hedge funds that they're scared of. By preempting the bank run, they create the bank run, right? But it's a hedge fund. It's a redemption run. Let's see. Wouldn't selling in the money ETH A puts be better now? Well, Robert, it depends. If you think Ethereum's going to go up, but you got to be able to keep doing that and willing to be and take on ETH A if the price doesn't go up. Like I sold some stuff and I had to roll it last week, and it's within like 50 cents of the price, and it has been for 3 or 4 weeks. I've just been rolling them and rolling them and rolling them. I got like 30 cents each time, whatever. I'm not getting rich off of it, but it's more money than I started with. And I take the profit and I sell puts with the profit to kind of get the most leverage for my investable dollar in the options market. But my thesis is Ethereum will go up, but that doesn't mean anything. For 5 months, that thesis has been wrong. I've been dead nuts wrong for 5 months. So.
Okay, Chris, this is the same as anything though. Like Bitcoin functions the same at every price too, right?
Yeah, it functions the same at any price. What do you mean? It still works even.
So he's saying ETH can easily go to $1, right? But that's, I don't know. It's kind of it's not true in the way the markets work. For some reason,
if a bunch of companies launch stable coins, which they are, and they launch it on Ethereum, people will buy the guardrails. They will buy Ethereum. They will buy it because they assume. Remember, truth doesn't move markets. Assumption moves markets. The front running moves markets. Speculation moves markets. Truth has no place in these markets. Anyway,
True.
let's see. Brandon, did you get my email that I'm locked? Oh yeah. Kurt was saying he's locked out of Digital Investor.
No, who did you email? I'm looking right now. Actually, I haven't seen any from Kurt.
I thought I saw a Telegram one.
Let's see. Maybe email me. You know my email, right? CryptoFitTrader@gmail.com. You can email me right now and I'll get you locked up. As we go behind the wall, I'll get it fixed. If it's on my end, I'll get it fixed. So as we go behind the wall,
Okay, let's
on
do
the
it.
DI website. That doesn't make sense. Email me. Email me to that email.
Give it an email.
I don't email somebody on a. Yeah, email me. Let's see. That's
Boop.
easiest.
Boop. 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 Boop.
Going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.